LOCASH, thank you so much for taking time to chat with Pure Country. I'm Brittany, and I know we have Chris and Preston. How are you guys?
Man, we're getting by. I mean, we're a little stir crazy being home because we're usually gone 250 days a year. But it's cool to be with the family and the kids and run around and be dad for basically half a year already, and it's pretty fun. We're ready to get back out there for sure.
Yeah, I bet. It must also be exciting, though, to have a little bit of downtime, be dad, like you said, but also have a song that is still flying up the radio charts. One Big Country Song, such a great song for this time, too. I know when you released it, it wouldn't have been with the intent of having a really positive, upbeat message, but here you are, and it's top 10, I think, this week in the US and top 20 in climbing here in Canada.
Yeah, it's cool that you said it that way because sometimes we don't get to, enjoy the journey and the moment because we all just get so busy. And then we come off the road and we're trying to be husbands and dads and fix things in the house. And then we jump back on the bus and then we do 3 or 4 shows and then we're back home. And it's a good cycle, but it's a little bit of a vicious cycle. And so it has been pretty fun to like be home, like Chris said, enjoy the families, enjoy the kids, but also really take in the journey of the song and watch it climb. Because when it hit top 10, I mean, we're just sitting at home enjoying this thing. It's crazy. We're usually out there like support it, promote it, support it, promote it. But we just get to sit back and like watch this thing happen for the first time. It's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting because, like you said, it's you have a opportunity to enjoy it. Where I think there's so many things that happen, especially with artists, that you look back a couple of years later and think like, I don't even hardly remember this. Like everything's such a blur and it went so fast. But when you have a single at radio, are you chart watchers or do you just kind of release it and just let it be?
I mean, we're pretty watchers, and we're songwriters too. So we like to see what our friends are doing also, and the songs that we've written and some other people have written. But we are, man. I mean, it's our baby, it's our life. So people we get yelled at for watching the chart, but and it probably wouldn't be as frustrating as sometimes we get sometimes. But you know what? It's our life, and I get why we do it, and we're okay. We've balanced it pretty good now.
I don't even know what it feels like to be like Luke Bryan and just on and then wake up and they're like, hey, by the way, you just went top 10. By the way, your song goes #1 next week.
Right.
And we just need to pick the next single real quick. I have no idea what that feels like because we are like every rung of the ladder from like 100 to the top. We are single step. I remember what it felt like a lot, and it was a scary.
I would think you would have a better appreciation for it though, because I know artists always say, their 30th #1 feels just like the first. It's like, yeah, right. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, after 30, I mean, it's still probably a great feeling because, when we talked to Luke one time, we were on the bus with him and he was just like, the frustrating part of him is he has to keep getting the #1s.
Yeah.
And if they don't, is he failing? Is he, he dying out? But I mean, we don't look at it like that. We're like, oh, well, you didn't get one #1. You're going to be fine. Your next one's going #1. But to put myself in his position, he has stress too. So probably not as much as us, but he definitely.
Just different,
Yeah.
It's all relative.
That's awesome.
Where you are.
Oh, well, and I know you guys have been around for quite a while now, but I feel like country fans still don't necessarily know a ton about you. So I wanted to play just a little quick, I guess, getting to know you type of questions, but we're going to make it fun so we keep our streaming audience occupied a bit. I have some questions in a hat.
Got it.
So we will start with, I'll ask Chris a question, then I'll ask Preston a question, and we'll go back and forth until we're through the hat. Is that cool?
Sounds great.
Awesome. Okay, let's start with the first one. Oh, the suspense. Okay, so for Chris, one artist that you're a fan of that might surprise people.
I like the Jonas Brothers.
They're so good.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, I just got their new album and it is insane. I mean,
What I like about them, and with them, I think they started as being, for preteens, but then they went away and they came back, and now like they're cool.
I feel like they're better. I mean, they
Yeah,
were great then, but just, I mean, they've obviously matured a lot, and
yeah,
but still keeping it real. It's awesome.
yeah. Awesome. Good answer. Jonas Brothers. Okay, so for Preston, what do we have? A favorite song that you wrote?
Probably, I Love This Life. When we wrote that, it, we were still struggling artists, just trying to make it, and then when we released that song and it climbed the charts, it changed everything for us. And so it will forever be the uplifting. And I mean, hey, it's like in the top 30 for the decade. I mean, it's
Top 15, top 15.
we had no
Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, why you do that?
we had no idea that song was gonna be so powerful. We were just trying to write an anthem for Garth Brooks to sing at the time. We were like, hey, let's write a song that would fit Garth Brooks, and hopefully he'll cut it. And then thank goodness we kept it for ourselves, and it changed.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And that's a great one too. I've been trying to, because I also program one of our Pure Country stations, and I've been trying to be mindful of putting more upbeat, positive music when I feel like, the world's getting down, and that's a go-to one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next one's for Chris. What is a song right now that you're really hooked on? Like one that you just keep playing over and over?
You're gonna freak out. It's so weird. Girl from Ipanema by Frank Sinatra. No idea why. It's got like a calming sense to it. Dun, 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 dun. So literally, when I wake up in the morning or I shower, I'll tell Alexa to play "Girl from Ipanema," and that's the first song I listen to, and it brings me calm for some reason.
Oh my gosh. See, this is stuff people would never know about you.
Yeah, I didn't know it either.
That's another good answer. Okay, so we're back with Preston. What was the last thing that you binge watched? When you had some time for TV.
Probably The Last Kingdom. I just
Yeah.
ago. I enjoyed that. I did not like how it ended. But
Part three, don't worry, Uhtred, son of Uhtred.
Hangers, make me go crazy and yell and throw something at the TV, and
Yeah.
that didn't happen, basically, but I love the series.
I haven't seen that one yet. I'll have to put it on my list. I just started watching The Last Dance. I got through one episode last night and I fell asleep, so that's on my list too.
So good.
Okay, so for Chris, this one's kind of a question about Preston. So what was your first impression of him when you met? So I know you guys aren't the story of, grew up together as kids and always knew this was going to be a thing. You met later in life, but eventually became brothers by choice. So what was your first impression, Chris, of Preston?
I mean, just a good guy. I mean, I really did. I can really read people very well. And when I first met him, it was where we were working at the Wild Horse, and he walked in, and I remember just like, cool dude, came over and started talking to me a little bit, and I was like, dude, this guy's got something, man. I was actually getting tired of Nashville too, so like it was just struggling as an artist just by myself, but I never really pushed myself. And Preston came in, and I was like, man, this guy's pretty cool. We started hanging out and laughing a lot of similarities, and and differences, but they worked like a yin and yang. And I mean, I read that, and he's got a good mind. He can read that too, and we just hit it off like brothers.
Awesome. Okay, so for Preston, we have, when is the first time that you remember ever being starstruck? So Preston, I'm sure there was a time somewhere maybe early in your career that you got introduced to somebody super famous. Were you starstruck by anyone?
Yeah, Whitney Houston.
What? You met Whitney Houston?
Yeah, that got me. It was pretty awesome.
Wow.
I have a knack for, well, back in the day before we were backstage, I had a knack of sneaking backstage at concerts. And I met so many people, especially in the pop R&B world, because just back in the day, I was going to all those shows and TLC, and so this one particular night, I had met some dancers from the Bobby Brown concert, and they said, you should come to the hotel and hang out with us at the hotel bar. So I went to the hotel, And I was sitting there. I had no idea this was going to happen. And Bobby Brown walks in, and he's got Whitney Houston. She's pregnant. And so I guess in some ways you could say I met Whitney and Bobby, the little Bobby.
Holy cow.
But I'll never forget it. I mean, it was pretty surreal.
No kidding. That's a good one. Holy, I wasn't expecting that one. Thought it might be somebody, you know, a country artist backstage somewhere, but nope. Whitney Houston doesn't get bigger than that.
Chris, you should ask Chris that same question right now.
Let's not do this.
Chris.
No, we don't want to do this, man. Why you want to throw me under the bus like that, bro?
What's the
It's
country?
been 2 months since we've been. You going to sit there and throw me under the bus like this?
Good country artist story.
Oh no,
Oh,
man.
come on. You can't go this far and not give us the goods.
I mean, Garth. I mean, it was Preston will kind of bend this the wrong way, but I got to meet Garth, and he came over. Well, I actually came over to him the first time, and I was like, I didn't really know what to say. I just went over and said, I saw you when I was little in a concert, and you pointed at me, and he was like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I basically knew everything about him, and I talked to him, and he kind of just turned away.
Yeah, it got real awkward. It got real awkward. It's not Garth's fault. He got a little nervous.
Garth's fault.
Like a psycho moment. But he got to redeem himself. A couple years later, I guess, Garth wanted to talk to us at an event, and it was awesome. It was the coolest. So Chris got to redeem himself and act a little cooler the second time.
I'm not gonna lie, it took 2 weeks to get over it. Like,
I
knew I messed up. I knew I messed up, and I had everything that I wanted to say to him just came out like, blah. That's it.
I'm sure he's used to it, though. At least you have that. You're probably not the first one to embarrass yourself in front of Garth Brooks.
Anybody seen his special on Netflix yet? Anybody?
Not yet.
I started watching it the other night. Yeah.
Is it good?
Like I didn't get through the whole thing because I fell asleep again. That seems to be a trend with me. But what I saw of it was really good.
Looks awesome.
I met Garth a few years ago, and he's so down to earth. And I don't know if that's a part of an act or if he's literally that much of a down to earth guy. But it's funny that you had that awkward run-in with him.
Yep, I'm awkward.
I'm awkward. Okay, so I guess that will be considered your question. So we'll go on to the next one, and we'll go back to Preston.
It's not the question I wanted.
And I guess you're getting the short end of the stick on this one too, because this one, Preston, what is a bad habit that Chris has?
Come on, man. I'm hanging up.
This is awesome. A bad habit that Chris has.
Easy.
Probably just being, maybe, man, there's easy ones like, you know, when he eats ice cream, he passes gas. I mean, that's a bad habit. Okay.
Not a bad habit, man.
But like in a big life kind of thing, probably just being a little short to jump to a conclusion real quick, and that's why we work so well together. Because I can kind of step back and look at things from a little bit slower, and it seems like maybe I don't care, but I'm just filtering it different, and and usually he's right on the money right from the jump. But it's always good for us to kind of step back together and kind of talk through things, and it's nothing ever really big deal or
That's
nothing.
why the yin and yang thing kind of works. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, you kind of need that balance, or you'd be way on left field on one side, or too relaxed on the other.
A lot of times we'll pull up to a venue and Chris will look outside and be like, I don't know if I trust this place. I don't know if I like this place. You know, I walked inside and it smelled like hot dogs, and they're supposed to be cooking, you know, something else in there or something like.
I will not say that. It would be smoke. Smoke. I didn't like smoke.
Smoke or something like. I'm off. It'll be like, I'm not sure about this, and I need you to walk through there real quick, and then I'll walk through there, and then I'll be like, yeah, you know, it's all gonna be fine, and then and we all have a big joke on the bus. If Chris says it's not gonna go well, it goes awesome. It goes great. So you know, we're all looking forward to the mornings when Chris is like, I don't know if I like this situation because it's going to be great that night.
That's why
awesome.
I do it now, though.
We're kind of like
so good.
old men with that stuff. We're just kind of like, you know, we just have coffee and talk about stuff like that. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay, we have 2 more. So we're back with Chris. What is a song that you wish that you wrote? Because I know not only do you write some great songs of your own too, but you've had hits written for Keith Urban and Tim McGraw. But what is a song, Chris, that you wish that you had written?
Oh man, there's a million of them. Probably let's go country song, "Friends in Low Places."
Good one.
Yeah,
Classic.
if we're going country.
Yeah. If we're not going country.
Not going country, probably "I Will Always Love You."
Those are pretty big ones.
Yeah.
Good choices. Okay, final question, and we're back with Preston. What is the first concert that you went to?
Man, I went to Hank Jr. And it was Kentucky Headhunters opening up for him, and I was a pretty young kid. It was pretty awesome though. I mean, it was Hank's birthday, and so he was pulling lots of girls on stage and taking them back in a helicopter where they were going to have a hot tub birthday party. And at
Oh my gosh.
moment, I was like, I have to be on stage and be like, because I want to have a hot tub birthday party.
So that's kind of where you decided like this was going to be my path in life too.
Yeah.
And have you had that hot tub birthday party yet?
Oh, we had a few. I mean, over the years.
Back in
Now,
the single days.
wife and my kids. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so happy that we were able to connect, and I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope to see one big country song go all the way to the one big spot on the top of the charts, both in Canada and the US. I know you have a great team up here in Canada that stays on us and keeps pushing for it. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.